Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's Carol Ward here, carolwardfitness.com. I'm going to give things about 30 seconds to see who might jump on the call. Hope you guys are having a really great Wednesday. This week is just really kind of flying by for me. So hopefully it's been a good week for you. I know here in Florida the weather's been really great. So that's been really a good thing. Today I'm going to just be talking with you guys about hidden sugars. This is the next series that I'm doing. The topic of the series is, are you addicted to sugar? And today's segment is asking myself that question, was I addicted to sugar? How this all came about was that I actually had joined a 30-day sugar-free group a couple of years ago, and in that group I really realized that as clean as my health had been, or as clean as I thought it had been, that there were a lot of hidden sugars I wasn't even aware of. And mind you, going into this, the year before, I had gotten super healthy. I had gone vegan. I had detoxed. I had already detoxed that previous January. So there were a lot of reasons for me to believe I was super clean in my body. But I think the thing is that what I realize is that there are these hidden sugars. Now, of course, the sugars that we hear about the most, of course, are going to be in diet sodas or sodas in general. They are going to be in ice cream and cookies and candies and cakes and all of those sweets. But what about the things that we don't think about? So I was doing some research for my latest blog, and I just kind of wanted to share with you what the American Heart Association has determined for us to look for when we go grocery shopping. They want us to be aware of brown sugar, corn sweeteners, corn syrup, fruit juice concentrates, high fructose corn syrup, honey, inverted sugars, malt sugars, molasses, raw sugar, sugar, and sugar molecules. Anything that ends in a ose, like dextrose, fructose, glucose, lactose, maltose, sucrose, and syrup. All of those things are sugars, and all of those are processed. And so when you read that label and it says 5 grams or 9 grams of sugar, it may not include all of the hidden sugars. So be on the lookout for that, because those are the things that are causing the number of people to have type 2 diabetes to be on the rise. It's causing more problems with liver problems in people. It's also affecting your metabolism. People are getting cancer and things of that nature. We'll go into more details about the health issues that are involved in sugar, or people that have too high of sugar in their diet. But the one thing that I learned along the way is that things I didn't expect to have sugar in them did, like cereal and oatmeal. Like the things that I thought I could turn to for my carbs, that I thought were healthy carbs, actually had a lot of sugar. Even the really healthy brands had a lot of sugar, and I was really surprised. You know, I really had to go through and look to see how much sugar I was consuming. And if I remember at the time, we were trying to keep our limit to, it was like 30 grams or 32 grams of sugar a day from natural sources, and it was adding up very fast. Thanks for hopping on, Stephanie, by the way. I wanted to say hi. So salad dressings have a lot of sugar in them. Ketchup has sugar in them. Bread was a thing. I didn't eat a whole lot of bread, but I was trying to incorporate bread back into my diet because I knew it could be a good source of whole grains. But I found that most breads out there on the market have molasses, had refined sugars in them, and I struggle with trying to find the right bread for me. So I turned to Ezekiel bread. It's in the frozen section. And it became more about feeding my body nutritiously than about really thinking about the sugar in it. During this 30 days, the one thing I realized is that those sugars attract us and keep us craving those foods over and over and over. So some of the foods that I tend to crave are not maybe sweet foods, but maybe like bread, chips, and crackers are a big one for me as well. And I found that a lot of chips and crackers actually have high fructose corn syrup in them. Again, they may have molasses or other sugars in them. Anything with an ose. There's a lot of oses in the wheat crackers and a lot of those. Hi Lisa, thanks for joining in. And granola bars, things that you think are really going to be healthy that you can take with you on the go, are packed full of sugar. So I think what I found is that I have to be more conscientious when I'm going to the grocery store, not just looking at what is the number of grams. Certainly you want to do that. For me, I got a food tracker. I got on my MyFitnessPal, and that helped me out a lot. But it's also looking at what are the ingredients within that food item that we're looking at, and how would those contribute to our overall health. And so as I started thinking about that, some of the other things I found were like wine has sugar in it. A lot of alcohol has sugar in it. Wine, I can't remember if beer does. I think certain beers do, but certainly wine, and that's something that I have gravitated towards and have tried to pull back from because of the amount of sugar, particularly in white wine. Things that you don't expect to have sugar are yogurt. Trying to think of a couple other things. Oh, I turned to coconut milk and cashew milk, and if you do not get the unsweetened brand or the unsweetened kind, you're going to have a lot of loaded sugar. So even though you think I'm getting healthy because I'm getting off of milk, but you're turning to sweetened milk, you're not really doing yourself a favor there either. You're just swapping one problem for another. So getting back to the cravings had me so dependent on those foods that even though I was very clean going into this 30 days of free sugar or 30 days no sugar added into my diet, I found that I was craving food that I didn't even realize I had an addiction to, because it is embedded in those food items that we don't expect it to be embedded into. And I really had to put a plan in place for overcoming those cravings. I certainly think we'll talk more about cravings in a further series or a further part of this series, but for me it just was about being patient with myself and knowing that my body was detoxing and knowing that I could put better, healthier food choices into my diet to replace some of those other choices that weren't so healthy, that were actually going to feed me nutritiously. So that's kind of really the basis for this series, and talking about sugar and how to go sugar-free. I'm not saying you have to go sugar-free for 30 days like I did. That was kind of an extreme example, but it definitely set the tone for it. Well, I guess what I was trying to say is it really helped my body get really super healthy, much healthier than it was even before I did a detox. But really, I'm hoping that you guys will get at least a nugget of valuable information from this live. Certainly ask questions if you have any down below. And then also take a look at my blog, because I have a lot more detail on my blog. I don't want to give it all away. I'd love to share the blog with you. It's at carolwardfitness.com. If you check out my video on YouTube, I'll actually have a link to the blog in it a little bit later. And the blog should be up probably in the next hour or two. So I thank you for tuning in. I really hope that as you're going along your journey and trying to figure out what works for you in your nutrition, and in looking at labels and things of that nature, that maybe this segment helped a little bit in being able to educate you on what to look for in a label for those hidden sugars that we just don't expect to come across. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you had a good time, and I did too, and I can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.